Kitrek pagota. Kitrek pagota. Kitrek pagota. Yeah. Kitrek. Kitrek. Ah. Ah. Prikil. Prikil. Kitrek. Kitrek pagota. Keep getting wrecked. There's no vote kick on the server, Pagota. Kitrek Pagota. Kitrek Pagota. Pagota is angry. He's angry. Kitrek Pagota. Kitrek Pagota. Kitrek Pagota. Kitrek Pagota. Kitrek Pagota. Keep getting wrecked. Right, it is not Pyro, it is me, Pagota. Kitrek Pagota! Kitrek! Kita pagkalopo di huli mili. Kitrek Pagota! You are a stupid one, Pagoda. A very stupid one. Get ready, Pagoda. Get ready, Pagoda. Get ready, Pagoda. Get ready, Pagoda. Pagoda is so bad.
Appreciate it. Thanks, mate.
Get ready, Pagoda. You're bad. You're bad. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Get ready, Pagoda. Ha ha ha.
Oh look, you rage quit. They both rage quit. We got a double rage quit.
Get ready, Pagoda.
Aw. This ain't no classic. It could be though. It could be, but I'm not gonna be able to fight the other guy. So classic's only for special occasions.
Get ready, Pagoda.
He's down over there, hard scoping. See if I can get him. Look at a heavy and a danger back sniper. What masters? Is he gonna jump down or something? This is fucking hilarious. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Something. He's gonna do something. I tell you that. Might not be good though.
Get ready, Pagoda.
Get the hell, mate.
Get ready, Pagoda. Get ready, Pagoda. Get ready, Pagoda. Keep getting wrecked. Kitrek pagota.
Appreciate it, mate. Spy round here.
What?
You are so bad, Pagota. So bad.
Appreciate it. Stick to bloody
Kitrek pagota. Kitrek pagota. Kitrek pagota. You are bad. Kitrek pagota. Kitrek. Kitrek pagota. Kitrek pagota. Kitrek pagota.
spy that, you fancy bloody
Kitrek pagota. Kitrek pagota.
bloody spies.
You have a desperate spy.
Kitrek pagota. Kitrek pagota. Ooh, Pagota is angry. Very, very angry. Angry, angry Pagota. Pagota is still angry. Kitrek Pagota.
Spy here.
fagotas are still angry. Get direct fagota. Haha, get direct. Get direct, get direct, get direct.
Because he said he muted me.
Let's have a go at it.
You are so bad, fagota. So bad. We have a rage scout. Watch out, a rage scout.
Appreciate it. We have secured the control point. Thanks, mate.
Get direct, fagota. Get direct, fagotas.
Incoming. Appreciate it, mate.
Get direct, fagota.
Incoming.
Bye bye, fagota. Get direct, fagota. You too, fagota. You are bad, fagota. try so hard. But it is so bad. Bye bye, Fakuta. Bye bye, Fakuta. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, Fakuta. Fakuta. Bye bye, Fakuta. Bye bye. Fakuta, Fakuta, Fakuta. Bye bye, Fakuta.
No medic. Just a shitty sniper.
Bye bye, Fakuta. Bye bye, Fakuta. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, Fakuta.
Hein?
Bye-bye, Fagota. Bye-bye, Fagota.
Teleporter going up.
And that. And this. And that.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye, Fagota.
You're with me, Doctor.
We have secured the control point.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it, mate.
You are so bad, Fagota.
Control point has been contested.
Get the heck, Fagota.
Nobody likes a squatter. Thanks, mister. There it is.
puta.
Sentry down! Dispenser down! Sentry down! Now just stop trying to mess with my contraption.
Bye bye, facultad.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
Teleporter coming right up my fire. Teleporter going up. Thanks, mister. Much obliged.
Well, that's why they call him the God of Lag.
Moving out.
The God of Lag.
I'm moving this. That was getting hairy. I stole the mark.
Holy shit. Fucking cheat mode activate.
No, fuck you. No, fuck you.
Build a dispenser, you fucking leech.
Rage quit.
Are you kidding me?
Get wrecked, Pagota.
And this is how little I care. Build a dispenser, Charizard. Holy shit. I told you to build a dispenser. Do you just not listen ever?
Rage quit.
We need a dispenser right here. We need a dispenser right here. We need a dispenser right
Your fucking dispenser. This is the dumbest thing. Not cancer at all. I think I'm just gonna get Strange Wrench just to do this. I just want to go on a server and do that. Specifically this server. Just have someone on that so it could be a free kill. Just gonna leave for a second. Ooh.
Que track vagota.
So I see the Discord server. I'm gonna go join their Discord. What is it? Let's see. Let's see what's in their Discord. Are you serious? Am I really the only person in here?
Bring the action.
Rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's bad. It's bad. Let's see if there's any faggots that I've harassed already. So we got a weeb fag right here. Weeb fag, weeaboo, whatever. Faggot, autist, artsy autist, little kid, faggot, autist, weeaboo, autist, weeaboo. It's just a combination of these things. Oops, nobody here. There's literally nobody here. Oh well.
Everyone. And he's like, no, guys, I'm serious.
Why are they always speaking in broken English?
There's actually a very good reason for this. This is a heuristic that maximizes their input. Keep in mind, 419 scam, of course, is you have a prince who claims that he's imprisoned and he's got $300 million. He's got to move to the U.S. He doesn't know you from Adam, but he just got to get the movie over and he's happy to give you, I don't know, $1 million or $2 million, right? Not a sophisticated scam to begin with, which means you don't want smart people responding to you, because smart people will waste your time, they'll mess around with you, they'll report you to the police. So the way you eliminate those people is by writing it in language just dumb enough that the only people to respond are people who might actually believe that they're about to become millionaires.
And a lot of people, when they read that broken English, they think, there's no way that this could be a scam or that they could take advantage of me because I'm clearly smarter than they are.
Which is the hallmark of all the best cons. You let the mark feel like they're the one driving things.
Yes, most of these originated in Nigeria in like the 80s, and they were written letters. Of course, with the advent of the internet, they became much more popular.
Holy cow, I remember the first time I got an email, and there's that brief glimmer of like, oh my God, is this my ticket? But I can't imagine how much more valid it feels when you get a telegram or something, or some kind of official correspondence that feels like a telex dispatch from the other side of the world.
Yeah, and of course, what is the one thing that all cons have in common?
That one moment where they say, and that's why I need the money right now.
Yes.
You create the sense of ownership of something bigger. You promise a big, big prize, and you act like they already have it. Congratulations, you've won a trip to the Bahamas. Congratulations, you've inherited $1 billion or whatever. And only after you let people sit with that idea for a little bit do you suddenly take it back. And all we have to do, little paperwork, you billionaire, you. Just, yeah, if you could just wire over enough money to cover the transfer fee of all the billions of dollars, that'd make things real easy.
Yeah, and usually it's a long email with lots of documentation. It sounds very official and formal and urgent.
Right.
And they're only asking for $100 to get this paperwork moving, and you get $2 million.
I think it was W.C. Fields that said you can't scam an honest man. And what this all relies on is two feelings. Number one, the feeling that you're about to get a payday. And number two, the feeling that you're a part of something less than legal. I fell for a proto version of this 20 years ago.
Really?
So I'm at a Home Depot. There's some guys in a van driving around, and then they're like, hey man, crazy thing happened. We went to this booby club down the way, and we installed all these $1,000 studio monitors. Well, here's a picture and a catalog of the studio monitors, and you can see where it says they're $1,200 each. Anyway, turns out we had 2 extra. You want to buy them for only $300? Keep in mind, this is pre-internet or whatever. I'm looking, I'm like, well, those are the same monitors. That does say the word $1,500 or whatever. I'm thinking, ho, 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 you guys can't fool me. These are stolen speakers. Also, let's go to the ATM so I can buy these stolen speakers from you. And of course, what they are is they're just garbage speakers.
Yeah.
That they go around telling a story that ropes you in. And I assume that's pretty much why the 419 works?
Yeah, there are hundreds of different variations. Some of them you've won the lottery. Some of them they bought a bunch of oil at below market prices. Some of them are inheritance. And so you just need to pay a small fee to get your inheritance and to unlock it.
So it sounds like no matter what version of the story that it is, there are 3 key elements. 1, there's a lot of money to be made by you. 2, it's slightly shady, which is why you should not tell anyone about our conversation. And 3, in order to complete the transaction, the tiniest little bit of monetary transaction has to happen.
Exactly, and that's the most important part in there. This is just another iteration of what's called an advance fee scam.
Okay.
So they get this fee from you, and then they say, okay, we're going to go ahead and move forward. And then there's another slightly larger complication where they say, we need this paperwork, and it's going to cost like $1,000.
So what you're saying is they keep paying dividends in terms of conversation as far as moving things forward, but financially they're bleeding you dry.
Yeah, you have these escalating investments that you need to make, and that's part of the problem is that they hook you for a little bit, and you think, well, I already invested this much. I need to keep going and see it.
So this is the hidden 4th phase of the 419 scam, the sunk cost fallacy. This idea that it's like, well, I mean, I've sent over $5,000 so far. I mean, what do I walk away? Then I'd really be an idiot. The smart thing is to just handle this next $200 payment, and then finally I'll be a billionaire.
And then to further entice you, they up the stakes on both ends. They'll say, now, we need $8,000 from you, but guess what? We've unlocked more funds. It's actually $26 million that we can get to you.
I'm sorry, just real quick, what was the guy's name? No?
You in? You in?
Let's do it. I was.
But then comes the con within a con. There's a threat to the entire operation.
So, you got the promise of money, you know it's shady, you invest, you get a little bit started, they keep stringing you along, you don't want to be a sucker, so the way to not be a sucker is to continue to give them money, and then the moment you want to stop giving them money,
then they say the entire operation is in jeopardy, we need this much money for plane tickets to go meet these associates to convince them.
Or better yet, some totally other person calls you Detective so-and-so investigating a Nigerian 419 scam.
And they say, listen, we need this much money to bribe this guy so he gets off of our trail.
That's amazing.
Now, a lot of times they ask for your banking information. That doesn't really give them anything. They don't use it, but it lets them know that they have a valid mark.
Wow, I never put that together because I always wondered that. The bank routing information is on literally every check you've ever written because it's 1987. But I was like, what can they do with that?
That lets them know that you're willing to play ball.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, tell me some ghost stories. Terrify me.
Okay, got some little factoids. How many emails does a scammer have to send out to get one response?
In the early days, pre-internet, to market my stage show, I would send out 2,000 to 4,000 postcards saying, hey, Brian Brushwood is in Atlanta, Georgia. Would you like to book him at your show? And I'd get 4 or 5 calls. So that usually in what they call direct response marketing, you would expect hopefully a 1% return. I'm gonna guess it's worse and say 1/10 of 1%. For every 1,000, 2,000, you get a response?
They get one response for every 12.5 million emails they send out.
I need to talk to their marketing team because that's not great. There's a lot I could do to up their return on investment.
But it's emails, it doesn't cost them anything. They send out billions per year, and these larger organizations, make around $2 million a year.
After the fact, I have to imagine that virtually nobody wants to admit that they were suckered, that they were scammed, and that they got taken for a ride.
Exactly. The numbers are actually much, much higher than the government knows because people are too ashamed to admit that they were taken advantage of.
So, famous magician Penn Jillette had a laptop stolen, and there's some sexy photos on there. They tried to blackmail him, and he was like, well, what's the worst that can happen? There's sexy photos of me out on the internet. Well, I'll go to the FBI. He called the FBI and said, they're trying to blackmail me for the stuff on the laptop. And he's like, well, how much money have you given him? He's like, none, I called you. And he says, that doesn't happen. Like the FBI goes, literally, nobody calls us before they're already given up too much money or whatever. The moment you start is the moment you're totally screwed.
It ties back to that, I don't want people to know that I'm a sucker, and maybe I'm not, so I'm gonna keep investing money to prove that I'm not a sucker.
That's the insidious, brilliant part of this, is you participate because you don't want to be the sucker who had a chance to become a millionaire but didn't bother to send $100 in. You don't want to be the sucker who has spent $5,000 and gotten nothing in response, so you send a little bit more. And you most certainly don't want to be the sucker who goes to jail because you're being told that you're involved in an investment scheme that's going to end you up in the Congo.
And you don't want to be Janella Spears, a nurse who lost $400,000. Gave all of her money, took out a lien on her house and her car that were already paid for, and then finally realized, oh, this is a scam. So the crazy thing about this is that this scam is actually growing. Even though you would think that people are
No
becoming...
way.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
The most recent number that I found in 2013 for worldwide losses to 419 scams.
Worldwide?
Yes. Worldwide.
I don't know, 20, 30, 40 million dollars?
$12.7 billion.
Wait, in 1 year?
Yeah. And it was increasing by hundreds of millions of dollars every year. In spite of email programs filtering out most of this spam, it's still working, it's still getting better. Now, if you want to have a little fun with these scammers, go to your spam folder, go to your trash folder, your junk mail filter.
It's a bad idea.
It's not.
Bad idea.
It's so much fun. There are entire websites that communities have sprung up around that all bait these guys to waste their time.
And you're right, that is the only way to punish them, so to speak, is to get them to invest heavily with their time and then give them no reward. My favorite story was the PowerBook scam, where somebody got a Nigerian scammer on the hook and said, hey man, I don't have money, but I've got this brand new PowerBook. It's from Apple, it's normally $2,500. Can I just send that to you instead of the $500? And the guy was like, well, yes. And then little things that, oh, by the way, just as a courtesy to me, would you list it as something besides a laptop? Otherwise, I'll have to pay a big old value-added tax when it comes in. He's like, I'll make sure to do that, and sends it, lists it at a full $5,000 PowerBook, sends a box of rocks over to this guy, and the guy had to pay like a giant duty fee in order to receive nothing.
Brilliant.
Right?
I actually was corresponding with a couple of them in preparation for this episode.
Wait, whoa. You mean you personally?
Yes.
All right, go on.
I went into my spam filter and I spoke to the governor of a bank. I didn't know they had governors.
Money's got to come from somewhere. This is 1 billion years long. Also, it calls you hello, dear.
I know. I was touched by that intimacy. He's very friendly.
I apologize for sending you this sensitive information via email instead of certified mail, post mail, which, by the way, this is something that they call anchoring. The mere fact that he said certified mail, post mail, and he said that's how he should have gotten in touch with you, lends legitimacy that is not there. Russell says you're owed $9,850,000 United States dollars, which he makes sure to spell out for you, literally. What did you do?
I emailed him. Okay, so first I emailed him back. Now there are techniques to bait these guys that I learned after I screwed it up. To Russell Nelson, said, Mr. Nelson, this is quite a surprise. I had no idea that I had relatives in London. I will, of course, do all that I can to assist with this matter, and I'm incredibly excited. Half of that money is mine. What a fantastic bit of news. Jason. Russell comes back with essentially what is the first email reworded. I want this information, full name, contact address, profession, nationality, etc. Here's where I ruined it. Russell, this is all very exciting. I'm very interested in participating. You said that this money comes from my deceased relatives in London. At first, I didn't know who you were talking about, but now I'm thinking it was my cousin Dan. We haven't heard from Dan in a long time, which is fine. After that one Thanksgiving where he drank an entire bottle of amaretto, We couldn't be happier that he disappeared. He always talked about going to London to open a fish and chips business. I thought that was weird until I found out that chips are actually French fries. Isn't that crazy?
In this guy's mind, all he heard was this giant flashing neon sign saying, smart, 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 smart.
Yeah. Anyway, Dan was a drunk and is probably the one who died. But if he's got all of this money he's leaving to me, then I guess the fish and French fries business really worked out for him. So on to your questions. I see that you're asking me for my profession. That's a hard one to answer, TBH. I'm kind of a free spirit. I don't appreciate the confines of employment. I just consider myself something of a rogue. Should I just put rogue there? Thank you. Jason.
I did not think it was possible, but it turns out you're the bigger asshole in this story.
How dare you? I
mean-
lost my cousin to alcoholism.
He sends you a gift certificate from Amaretto. Is that what it is?
Russell's so insensitive.